Yes. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, classic, last known classic. This episode number 2338, Doubleshot number 2232. This is going to be the first of 3 straight comic corners because I just calculated how many more I got left to do right now. I thought it was like 2 or 3, at least 4. There are 6 I got to do, 6 more. Basically, we got physical right here next to me. Next one will be a digital one, which will be Wolverine and Spider-Man, and one after that will be X-Men, all X-Men stuff. Alright, now we got 2 Superman trades here. Yeah, these 2 here. We got the Coming of Atlas and Mon-El, Man of Valor. Okay, so we first start with basically Superman, the Coming of Atlas. Yes, that cover is done by Alex Ross. Written by James Robinson. Art by Renato Guedes. This book, and by the way, it collects issues from Superman, Volume 1, issues 677 to 680. It's a 4-part story. We even include Atlas's debut from the 70s. From first issue special number 1. And I mentioned in the last comic corner that this particular review also has some related to Jack Kirby. This is it right here. Let's talk about first issue specials first. It's this debut of Atlas, which gets frequently. There's flashbacks to this issue. And I think this is a smart move on the part of DC at the time to put this issue in here. Here's the thing. There is an actual trade that collects that entire series, which Jack Kirby did work on. Yeah, I think he worked on all 13 issues. That one basically had a debut a bunch of other characters. Aside from Atlas, one of those characters happens to be Mark Shaw, aka Manhunter, and also that very one-shot introduced the Manhunter robots. Yep. Now Atlas is of course set in the past. Of course, in the future, Atlas comes to Earth while Superman is off of Greenland to do some other stuff. So Atlas is basically breaking stuff. It's the way this is structured, anyways. It's the way this happens, where Superman battling Atlas. It's very similar to what happened back in the 90s when Superman fought Doomsday, except basically it's just Superman himself. Now, of course, also Atlas pretty much beats up, get this, he apparently beats up in one panel Steel, yes, Steel, which he ends up in a hospital for quite a while until toward the end of basically the Krypton stuff. Supergirl, he fights her, fights Superboy. Eventually, Superman tries to go to Santana for some help, for some magic, because basically Atlas is a magical being. But nope, Zatanna is not available. Apparently she's on the other side of the world. So Superman is to settle with her cousin. Yes, who was John Zatara's nephew. Yep. Yeah, that's what he has to settle with in these issues. And you might be thinking, is this the only time Zatara himself actually appears in the book? Not really. Oh yeah, and I think it was just post. It was not long before this. They also have the Science Police in here, and of course, they're led by the Guardian. Well, how should I put this? He is the leader of the organization in the modern day until he died. Yeah, he was killed in a one-shot. Yep. Because the fact the Guardian is based in Metropolis, so of course he would basically make an appearance in there. But mostly put Ace his clone. He would mostly be the one who be like a regular character in the Superman books at this point in time. Yeah, he pretty much first appeared as a regular character for Superboy. He appeared a lot in Superman this period of time. I mean a lot. Like, he was more recurring than the original one was. Yeah, in this book in particular. And it would seem as though basically the writers of this book, they must have loved him so much that pretty much from I think it was with the next story arc, he becomes basically a regular character in this book. Yep. But he's not in these issues. But this stuff here is awesome at its finest. James Armstrong does a great job of this book. And This serves as a prelude to the Krypton stuff that lasts for over a year in Superman comics. By the way, I did look up basically the time period this comes out. June to September of 2008. So roughly about 15 years ago. Stuff was pretty good in here. Yeah, even though that Atlas is defeated by Superman, but he's taken in by General Lane. Which, the whole point of that is to set up basically stuff for New Krypton stuff. And speaking of Krypton, we have Mon-El, Man of Valor. Excuse me. This book collects Superman, Secret Files, Child's Number 1, Superman Annual 14, Superman 692 to 697, and Adventure Comics Volume Number 11. You might be thinking, though, about the Superman Annual, because sometimes there's a period of time where the Superman Annual, basically, they would just print like one story from it, per se, but never the entirety of it. And you might be thinking, did? Yeah, they did. It was just one story. And here's a strange little fun fact about this annual. This was the last annual Superman had for several years. Yeah. This is 100% completely true. The book itself would not have an annual again. Yeah. Of course, the last annual itself was released just 2 years prior to this, in 2007. Which I've covered that already. Now, you might be thinking, like, when is next time Superman has an annual? He would not have an annual for 3 years. Yep. Not until 3 years from this annual, he would have another one. Now, mostly put, what happens in these? Well, the annual itself is just basically Mon-El's backstory. That's mostly put exactly what it is. The only case of the Adventure Comic issue, that is mostly put the finale to the Man of Valor story arc. That's mostly put exactly what it is. The double acts, the Superman stuff, that's basically double act. Now, is that the only story in that one shot? I highly doubt it, because it's a Secret Files book. So of course, yeah. So this one shot, they've had stuff in this one collected before. Like Double Act obviously was printed in, well, this book here. But what about the other ones? What about basically Ursa? You would think this would be reprinted in one of the Superman trades, but I don't think it was. Not even Legacy. Yeah, so mostly put, if you get past the origin story of Mon-El, the fact he's actually apparently according to this flashback, he's half Daxamite. Not fully blood Dax. He's still Daxamite, but he's not fully blooded. So basically in the main Superman issues, he's working with Billy Harper, where he's basically her partner, and they take on various criminals. They take on Multiplex, a Firestone villain, and then they take on the Madmen, who are a Blue Beetle villain. And by the way, not the only ones. They also take on Nazi, and then they take on, well, apparently they take on Punch and Judy, Steve Ditko characters. And then this weird guy here, I have to look up basically who this guy is, because this is quite strange here. Yeah, the story is called Downtime. Yep. I think it must be Double Act. Yes, I think that's it. So, I think it's a guy called Red Panzer. No, that's the Nazi. Is it Fredo Man? Yeah, Fredo Man. Fredo Man looks like he's an old Batman villain. That happens to show up here. Yep. They take him down. Pretty fun book. The very next issue in this book, which is, 392. This is stuff related to the Codename Patriot, which is a very interesting story as it is. But getting past that, move on to 693. We have General Lane here with Atlas, codename Assassin, and who is this woman here? Her name is Morobi. Very original. She's not around very long. No, she'll first show up in 877. This is basically just a quick guest appearance for her. Yeah, she only appears in 3 issues of this book, 690, 693, and that's it. Mostly put, she just appeared on pages of Action Comics. Most of this issue, it's mostly a look into the project, 734. It's mostly put just a build up, and of course, apparently on this, they probably took time off panel. They captured Mon-El, as they arrest him, and they used his team, comprised of Atlas, Mobile, Metallo, and the Parasite. Yes, that is Metallo. We also have Major Force here. Yep. So here's the thing. General Lane believes he's a Kryptonian, despite the fact that it's widely known that Mon-El is not a Kryptonian. He's a Daxamite. He's weak against lead, not freaking Kryptonite. And the whole thing with General Lane, he hates aliens. Yes, that is his thing. He is pretty much the main antagonist of the Superman comics. His Superman's own father-in-law. Yeah, so he breaks out thanks to Parasite. Of course, he works with it. And all of a sudden, Bizarro shows up. Yes, frickin' Bizarro. Yeah, we have Mon-El fighting Bizarro. I don't know if Mon-El's fought Bizarro before, and we have Superboy meeting up with Mon-El. Plus, I love the whole Superman Shield thing. They even bring up these issues, Mon-El joining the Justice League, because Superman couldn't join Justice League because the stuff related to this. So, yeah, they reference that in here too. Yep. So then, of course, after dealing with, well, Bizarro and the Parasite, yep, so yeah, and of course, General Lane is between Bill Crap and the press. Of course, they think that Jim White's that Jim Olsen's dead, but nope, he's not dead. He's alive. Well, and it's thanks to the beautiful Natasha Irons, the niece of Steele's niece. Yeah, be undercover. Steele finally wakes up, and his first word is Atlas because he wants payback. Yeah, then we cut to Mon-El's apartment where apparently it's still him and Billy had sex. Yep, and apparently she knows that he is Mon-El. Yep, she knows. And their relationship. And it's revealed at the end of these issues that she's pregnant with his child. And she can't see him again because he went to Phantom Zone because they had to wrap up his story arc here. Yeah. And then, of course, he has to deal with basically Nightwing and Flamebird. Yep. Which I kind of talked about this stuff already in the pages of... We'll talk about in the Nightwing and Flamebird trades. Yeah, then, of course, basically, like... It's like... And of course, like, I believe these are yours. Finally, the world will see Mon-El act treason perfect. Yeah, see, I'm still getting used to Earth's ways and customs, so forgive me. But for it to be treason, don't I have to be American? Released from Earth, so there's that. Those terrorists blew up Science Police headquarters to get my ability to help get away. Oh, did they? Like they blew up the Metropolis sewers? Come on, General. You surely don't have Reactron or that Witcher woman looking around, whoever it is. Wasn't that Flamebird? Ha! This is funny to you. Death all around. You're laughing. Soldier's death is part of lifetime around me. But you've changed much. I can't think of myself. Sure, in fact, you owe me. I'm talking to a gorilla. Yeah, then of course, Chameleon Boy shows up. Yep, Chameleon Boy is here. Yeah, why is he here? Because the Legion of Superheroes involved in this stuff. Yep. And of course, Lane wants to move his troops to arrest him because he's a freaking alien. I mean, come on, Lane. What is wrong with you? If your daughter was here, she would punch you in the... She would probably break your freaking jaw, dude. For, number one, you're acting completely irrational. Like, oh crap, it's the alien! Kill him! Arrest him! That is pretty much his motivation here. He's a complete buffoon. And it seems like Superman coming, but nope, it's just an illusion. Like, what? Yeah, that was thanks to stuff related to Saturn Grove's got a mask here. There's also an espionage squad where then we have Steel dealing with various criminals. Then we have Mon-El and Belly just having a shower. Yep. And then we see Mon-El beating up. I'm trying to look up who this guy is. It's not Mixie. I think it's Man of Valor Part 4, I think it is. Yeah, here it is. The Espionage Squad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Crowstar is basically on this issue. Ultra. Yeah, Steel battles his guys. I think it might be the composite Superman Batman. Possibly he's fighting him, I'm not sure. And of course, basically the book ends with basically Mon-El go off here, and then we lead to the finale, which is from Adventures of Superman. The Adventure Comics. The final issue of the volume. Yep, and you might be curious though, did I cover the previous part already for this issue? Well, I believe this one's got 3 stories in it. Well, they collected the Legion of Superheroes epilogue in the future. That was collected in Superman Last Time to Krypton Volume 2. And of course, my finale is in here as well. So, I think with this particular trade here, I've covered most of this volume. I think mostly put all the stuff in here just to discuss the Superboy issues. Yeah, I think it's just the Superboy issues because... Yeah, because the Legion of Superheroes, I think it been discussed already. I think it discussed that. Let me take a look here. Because I'm thinking that it was already collected already. Let me take a look here. I'm trying to find out exactly where it is. It's not listed on here, but yep, basically Legion Superheroes are in the book. Well, it's the Legion Espionage Squad. I know the Superboy issues has been collecting and trade. I'm not sure the Legion Superhero stuff. Yeah, I'm not finding it here. It's weird. So, I think he's here to issue 8, I think it is. I'll take a look here about that. Let's see. I know the Superboy Prime issues, which is the Superboy Prime stuff, that I covered already for this file. I'm trying to see exactly how far back I got this done here. So I think with issue 6, basically, it becomes basically just solely Superboy for about, I think about 3 issues, not mistaken. I think it may have been with issue number, yeah, it's with issue number 8, it basically becomes stuff related to Krypton stuff. Basically, because the opening story is Last New Krypton Volume 1. Awake is in Flamebird. And yeah. So it's like basically the first 2 stories in here. Those are collected in Last New Krypton Volume 1. And Awake is basically in Nightwing and Flamebird. It's basically like 3 issues. I think both these books, let's see. So I'm thinking, as of right now, yeah, I think I pretty much have covered for this numbering of issues for Legion Superheroes. I mostly have covered from issues 8 through whatever the final issue is here. I think it's like, let's see. I think it's like issue 1. So it's mostly from 504. It mostly, the second volume of the issues themselves, it's mostly just 504 to 529. So for issue number 8, because that's the earliest I got done so far for this book, for review wise. So basically, thanks to this book in particular, I've gone from 511 to 529 for Adventure Comics. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is mostly just the epilogue to Mon-El's time in the books. So I had to write them out, so send Back to the Future. So he sent the Fam Zone, and then this leads into, well, thanks to sending, this leads into Superboy and Legion of Superheroes, the early years. That's what comes next. So, yeah. With this, basically, New Krypton stuff is completed. My final thoughts on the New Krypton saga. This saga I thought was really good. Yes, took up basically a period of about 2 years of comics. Actually, more like a year and a half, because it started back in mid 2008, and I don't think it wrapped up until like about mid 2010. So basically, I would say it's about 2 years. Yep, but you kind of felt as though that the Aftermath probably felt that it should have been more time for the Superman books to recover from this. But no, sadly put, a year after the whole New Krypton stuff wrapped up, with the finale being War of the Superman, which I have covered already, it's like 1 year later, DC relaunch. So in the case of Superman in particular, as of right now, I am pretty much covered for him from 2009 to present. Kind of the same thing with Action Comics. It's kind of the same thing with that one too. As of right now, when it comes to Superman, I did take a head count on how many trades left to go that collect issues from the period of 650 to about the final issue. I have a total of, and I did count this, about 4 trades. The only trades that the go for Superman, because the last one I reviewed before these two, and all, like aside from these two and the New Kryptons, basically this is all left to go. Here's what I've covered so far: Up, Up and Away, Camelot Falls, and all New Krypton stuff. That's it. So all that's left is Superman, the Third Kryptonian, Superman Redemption, 3-2-1 Action, and Shazlinger. That's it. Just these 4 trades here. Once I cover these 4 trades, then I will pretty much be, in a way, be done with this period of Superman. Yes. I do think so. Yep. It'll take a bit of time. I mean, it took me a little while to get through the Batman stuff during this period of time, but Superman is obviously next. Yep. But Superman at least has some good comics here. Yeah. But overall, if you're really curious about the New Krypton saga, the Comic Atlas and the critically acclaimed Brainiac story is a good place to start. Then you go into New Krypton. There's actually 4 books of this Yeah, there's 4 books. There is the first 2 volumes. The first volume collects the first half of the New Krypton stuff, which is a connected storyline. And then you have volume 2, and then 3 and 4 are just basically World New Krypton. And of course, also you have this overall. Like, if you're curious, how many trades overall that collect the entire New Krypton saga? You have Combat Atlas, Brainiac. You have the 4 volumes of New Krypton, like the first 2 being collecting the first half of basically one half of the storyline, and the other half of the storyline. The 2 volumes collecting War New Krypton. So you have the 7 volumes. You have the 2 volumes of Nightwing and Flamebird, the 2 volumes of Mon-El, Last of Krypton, War to Superman. So you have overall 14 trades. Yes. Well, 15 if you count Codename Patriot. So overall, about 15 trades overall that collect the entire New Krypton saga. Well, I'd say overall 15. But you're thinking, okay, so... But wait, wasn't there another book that tied into New Krypton? Yes. Yes, there was. Supergirl. Yep, Supergirl. For Supergirl, I'm thinking there was about 2 trades for her, if I'm not mistaken, that collect issues from her run. I believe so. So overall for the Supergirl stuff, which starts from 34 to 52. That's just basically as far as they went with it. So if you're going by new editions, it's mostly put volumes 4 and 5. Surprisingly, the last 2 issues are not in trade. Well, they're in stuff related to New Krypton. So basically, if you're looking for stuff for new editions, which I recommend checking those out, those are basically a little more collected than the other ones. It's basically the 2 volumes for you. Have Volume 4, Daughter New Krypton, and Volume 5, The Hunt for Reactron. I would get these 2 trades plus the other stuff. So I'd say it's not 14, more like 16 trades that collect this entire story arc. Yeah, 16 trades for something that happened over the course of 2 years. Yeah, 2 years, which is something. Yeah, and this didn't wrap up until July of 2010. Like, all this started with was the main story arc for New Krypton. This all started in December 2008, and we did not wrap this up until July of 2010. This went on, like I said, for 1 year and 7 months. That is how long this whole storyline went on for. And overall, 16 trades that collect this entire storyline. Yep, but yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular view. Next up, 2 more comic corners, and it is on to Eden Zero. Okay, next video. Bye.